In part 1 of this video series, we cover what an SIEM basically is and how the logs and flows get into it in order to be correlated to find anomalies, bad things, suspicious things, and fire offenses, cases, or however you want to call them. Now, what is it? How is it that this gets done? Is by virtue of what is called a rule. And a simple way of saying what a rule is nothing more than simple logic that is pushed, or tests that are applied to the logs or events. You see that in many cases in Curator, a log is called an event, and that can be the categories of those events or logs, and any one of the custom properties that are extracted, as we showed before, from the logs. The source IP, well, there can be source IP also in logs, but the username and things that are extracted are put into properties, and then we'll see that the test conditions in the logic of the rule will test for this or that. And the same thing actually applies to the flows. There are also categories and properties that are assigned and evaluated in the rule. Let's actually take a look at one of them. This is Curator Offenses view, and this is, by the way, the new UI. In the traditional UI, it looks more like this, right? Same thing. Let's take a look at this particular offense. Right in the UI, we can see that this offense is evaluated, got 67 logs or events and 50 flows that made them trigger. And there are actually two rules. We see it in here: port scan and multiple login failures. Rules can fire just on logs, just on flows, or a combination, as in this case, or both. And it actually gives you far more insight. And notice that there have been 13 categories that were matched when those logs and flows were ingested and parsed. We can actually take a look at one of these rules, right? And this is the view in the new UI. Again, it's the same thing. For those of you who are using the free Curator CE, more on that later, you will see probably this UI. And we can actually need to go here and say display rules. We see the rules, and when we double click on it, we are seeing the actual way that the rule works. All I want you to see here is that in this particular case, there are two test conditions. And when this one is true, basically it's a fail login. And when we get 5 of events where the destination and source IP have a different username in 2 minutes, then when those two conditions in succession are found to be true, boom, this rule is considered to be ready to fire. Not all the rules fire events. And by the way, since this is an introductory video, I want to point out that in the video description of all my videos, if I go to any of my videos, there I put a link to a box folder. If you go to that, at the bottom of that box folder, you're going to find a PDF file that contains an organized list of hundreds of videos I have done on Curator, right? This is the latest version of the document. I already downloaded it, and it's right here, so we don't need to wait for that to download. So if you were to look in here, let's say that you are more interested after you watch this and you want to understand better how to write rules, well, you can search inside the PDF, put write rules, maybe writing Curator rules, and here you are. I have these actually 6 videos that talks about that process in detail. Like that, there are hundreds of videos in here. So if you want to have an organized way of finding those videos, rather than searching in YouTube, you can download this file. So back to our rule. In a similar way, we can actually see this other rule that fire, and this one fire on flows. This is actually the one that detects a port scan. Same thing. First and second condition is true. If that one is found to be true, then the next one gets evaluated, and so on. When all of them, in this particular case, the 3 test conditions are true, then this can actually fire an offense that invites for an investigation. So in most cases, you don't have to write rules, even though, as you can see, it's just plain English and very simple. Curator comes with a great deal of rules already by default, and you can add those to it. There is actually a free app that you add to Curator called Use Case Manager. As you can see, I have more than 1,000 rules, and this is spectacular for you to look at the specific rule. You can search by name, you can search by category, but when it was actually created, by the log source type that rules fire upon. I mean, this is the way for you to find what you are looking for, but also you can even search for rules that are not installed, and this actually performs a call and find out what's in what is called the App Exchange, where IBM and third parties put the rules for it, and notice that there are many more rules. In fact, if I click on that button, I can see the rules that exist up there that I have not installed in my system. And this is a place where you can know whether it is enabled or not. And again, this is an introductory video, but you just want to highlight the point that these rules should be built for you, at least the vast majority. You may tweak one, or if you get advanced, you may create your own, but that's very unlikely. Most likely you will have the rules already created for you. While speaking of rules, not all rules are meant to fire offenses and call to your attention. Some of them are meant to actually add risk and watch the risk that every user brings to the organization. Let's dive into the topic of UBA, which is what we are showing the interface in here, of User Behavior Analytics. So UBA, it's all about acknowledging the fact that we all, whenever we use our computers, we introduce risk into the organization. If I do account payable, every time I go into the system to pay something, I'm introducing risk. What happens is my credentials get compromised, and so and a hacker uses those to pay money to somebody else, right? So the idea of UBA is determine how much risk users are allowed to bring into the organization before I fire a single offense that invites me to investigate what that individual is. Has he become a rogue employee? His credentials has been taken by somebody else? What is actually doing there? And UBA, when you install that, it's actually a free package in the case of Curator. When you install UBA, and this is kind of the UI, it actually tracks the activity of every user. And what it does, it uses a set of specific rules. Let me actually show you those. You can see there are more than 100 rules. So we can actually see for example, the geography rules. There are 7 of those. And this is all about tracking when a user logins from a country we don't do business with. So if he does it once, you may add some points of risk. If he does it often, the accumulated risk that the user gathers is going to be big enough to surpass a threshold that you set up, and that fires a single offense and say, hey, investigate this particular individual. Now, again, in that PDF I showed you before, there are plenty of videos that talks in detail about the UBA. Now, as good as UBA is, I call this plain vanilla UBA, there are things that you cannot detect with this type of rules, right? similar to the rules in Curator. So for example, what happened if my credentials are compromised? And I'm doing things that I'm allowed to do, but just for example, the sheer amount that I'm suddenly doing is strange, or I'm behaving in ways that I does not normally operate. And what machine learning is actually does, that's another free component of UBA, is learn what I like to call who is who in the zoo. So how every user behaves, what type of thing he does, how much of every one of those things it actually performs. And when he deviates from his or her normal self, then additional risk is actually added to the user. And depending on how much of that he does, he may surpass that threshold. And that will invite you to investigate that user. Again, very quickly in this introductory video, that's what UBA is, plain vanilla UBA, and UBA with machine learning. In part 3, and I'm trying to keep this to just three videos, I'm going to be covering other aspects like threat intelligence and how to automate boring stuff. As you can see, if you keep doing all these things in Curator, that can become tedious if you do it often. How can you automate some of that? How can you perform things instead of doing some searches? I'm going to cover searches as well in the next video. But how can I get some more intelligence to help me, particularly to know all the what I will explain later, the indicators of compromise. What are those and who they are related without me spending hours on the internet searching for things? All that should be coming in the next video.